We're gonna make some food together. Yeah. Hey, friends. So I couldn't decide what to make for dinner, so I asked Facebook, and you guys just all said bologna sandwiches and silliness. So I went on Pinterest and I found some food. It's like semi-homemade kind of thing. It's a fast, we need to hurry have dinner weeknight because Timmy has soccer and, you know, all this other crap. So I feel like it would be an easy kind of semi-homemade dinner for everyone. And then we're making broccoli cheddar soup stuff for baked potatoes. If you have carnivores that need meat, you can have it with like chicken or like, I don't know, you can put meat in it, but it doesn't have meat in it. So I have all my ingredients all out. So you need 3 cups of milk, some cheese obviously because it's not broccoli cheddar without the cheddar. You need some flour to make your roux. I put it in my little hedgehog. Look how cute he is. Oh. And you need 3 tablespoons of butter. And then you need your broccoli, obviously. I didn't super measure anything except for, like, I mean, the recipe called for the butter and the stuff, but you probably don't need to measure that unless you want to. What we're doing is melting the butter first. So I've got my pan on in my little sauce pot. You want to melt your butter. And then we're going to add the flour to the butter to make a roux, and that'll help thicken our sauce. And then we're going to put some salt in it and some garlic powder. The recipe didn't really have any other seasonings in it, and I don't think you really need anything else just because the broccoli and the cheese are what the main flavor is. So the potatoes take the longest, obviously, but other than that, it's a super easy, fast weeknight dinner, which is nice. Because Mondays are hard. So we're melting our butter, and then you put your flour in. Make sure it gets all in there. And then you stir it up. We're not going to brown the butter and the flour at all. We're just going to leave it on here for about a minute so that it thickens up to get the flour taste out. And it makes kind of like a paste. Don't worry or think that you did something wrong. That's just what it's supposed to look like. So this is kind of what it looks like. It's kind of goopy. And that's what's going to help thicken your sauce. And so you just let it sit there for a minute. And then you pour your milk in. Yay. And depending on how many potatoes and stuff you want, depends on how much milk and whatever. My recipe that I found serves 4, so we should be fine with just the 3 cups and the 3 tablespoons of butter. So you just want to stir that all together, make sure you get all the clumps and stuff out. And then once the milk comes to a simmer, which is right before the boil, so that it's a little bit like, ah, instead of, ah, then you can turn it down and start adding your other stuff. So all of our clumps are out right now, and we'll just kind of let it sit. I like to stir, so if you over stir it, that's fine. But you just let it sit until it comes to a simmer. You can turn your heat up a little bit so it does that faster if you want, but it's not super pressing. Bean wants to join me. She's on the other side of the counter. Okay. Look, say hi. So chubby. She only lets me hold her if you cup her butt, so you gotta make sure to cup her butt. Okay, go away. Davis was doing state soccer today, so that was exciting. So it's today and tomorrow, I think. That's what he'll be doing. So go him. Mother's Day was good. And we got to Skype Dylan. He's in Taiwan, and that was fun. So he seems to be doing well. It's really hot sitting over this stove, man, because this is on and the oven's on right underneath. My goodness. And then once, oh, you can see little bubbles. So that's good. That means it's getting hot. Hey, buddy. So once it starts doing its little simmering, then you add the cheese a little bit at a time. Because if you do it all at once, then it gets one big clump of cheese and it doesn't melt and it's a pain in the butt. So So you just put a little bit of cheese in at a time, stir it, melt it, put more cheese in, stir it, melt it, and then at the very end you put the broccoli in. But you can add your seasonings now if you want. So we're gonna put a little bit of salt in here. I don't measure salt just because it's silly to me. And then we'll do a couple dashes of garlic powder just to make sure it's all seasoned and delicious. And you can stir that in. You want to make sure you don't have to consistently stir your sauce, but you want to make sure you whisk it every now and again so that if there's any flour clumps remaining, that it doesn't stick and burn and have a nasty sauce, because nobody wants a burnt sauce. So you just want to stir it every now and again. Make sure it's all kosher. And it smells good now because we put the garlic in it. You're welcome to use a blend of cheeses, or you don't even have to use cheddar. I got pre-sliced kind because we're making enchiladas later this week. So if you want to grate your own cheese, go for it. If you want to buy a grated cheese, that's dope too. You'll have to sample it, make sure it tastes good. It said about, actually don't remember. It said a few ounces of frozen broccoli and then you just thaw it. So I just have this little glass bowl full of broccoli. This looks about good for 2 people because the cats aren't gonna eat it. That's for sure. So we're gonna start adding our cheese now. So remember, you don't put it all in at once. Just do a few little scoops at a time. And then stir it. Make sure it's all melty. It will stick to your spatula or your whisk, whatever. But that's okay. You just want to stir in the cheese. It'll come off once you're done stirring it. So then we can put a little bit more in now. Just gradually put the cheese in. Cats are just watching behind me. It's fine. And then once it's melted, I think maybe it'll melt different if you buy the pre-shredded cheese, just because that lasts way longer than a block of cheese because they put crap on it, I think. But either way, cheese is delicious, and you just want to make sure it's melted before you put the next batch in. And I think we're probably going to put a little bit more cheese in just because it's not super cheesy yet. But that's what I get for not measuring it. If you find an actual recipe, go for it, because that'll let you know how much you actually need to put in. But mine's still melting and thickening up with the flour. So once that's done, I'll show you what it looks like on a potato. Okay. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. It's thickened up nicely. The broccoli's in here heating up a little bit. It's nice and juicy and delicious. You might need to add a little bit more flour. I thought I did, and then I ended up just adding the last bit of my cheese, and it was fine. So this is what this looks like. And then we've got a hot pad over here. We're going to transfer it over. And then you get your potato opened and kind of mushed around a little bit. And then you just ladle it on top. Yummy. Christian made a good point. He said you could sprinkle bacon bits on top, would probably be good. We didn't get around to doing that, and that's okay. But this is what it looks like. You obviously add as much or as little as you want. You can add butter to your potato first. I thought about maybe putting a little bit of ranch on mine just because I like my potatoes super creamy, but I feel like I don't need to with this. But this is our broccoli and cheddar potato dinner for Easy Weeknight Foods. Okay, bye.